You want to know why nothing in this world seems to shake some people, while everything seems to shake you. You want that unbothered, unshakable, calm under fire kind of strength. And you're tired of reacting, overthinking, and carrying emotions that were never yours to hold. Most people wake up every day already overwhelmed, dragged around by notifications, pressured by expectations, and pushed off balance by things they can't control. They move through life like open windows in a storm, letting every comment, every setback, and every judgment blow straight into their mind. But the Stoics understood something most people today have forgotten. Nothing can truly affect you unless you hand over the permission. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, war, and chaos. Yet he remained grounded because he built his strength from the inside out. That same inner armor is available to you. And in this video, you're going to learn the 8 Stoic principles that make you emotionally untouchable, mentally unshakable, and impossible to control. Stay with me. This might be the turning point your mind has been waiting for. Principle 1. Embrace hardship as your training ground. Modern life has conditioned people to treat discomfort like a threat. The moment something feels difficult, they back away. When a situation becomes painful, they look for shortcuts. When a challenge appears, they numb themselves with distraction instead of facing it. This constant avoidance creates a generation that is fragile on the inside, even when they look successful on the outside. We chase quick relief instead of long-term strength, forgetting that anything meaningful requires resistance. The Stoics saw hardship not as something to escape, but as something to use. To them, difficulty was the grinding stone that sharpens the blade of the mind. Hardship builds resilience, courage, discipline, and clarity, qualities no one can develop in comfort. Seneca wrote that a person who only knows ease becomes weak because nothing has forged their spirit. Marcus Aurelius lived this truth daily. Surrounded by war, disease, betrayal, and political chaos, he still wrote calmly that challenges are opportunities to practice virtue. He understood that life doesn't break you, it trains you, and that idea is universal. Think about any moment in your life when you truly evolved. It wasn't when things were smooth, predictable, and pleasant. It was when you had to fight through adversity. When you were forced to wake up earlier than you wanted, to keep going when you were exhausted, to accept truths you didn't want to face. Hardship stripped away illusions and revealed the strength you didn't know you had. It didn't ruin you, it shaped you. This is why practical, everyday hardship is essential. The gym teaches your body what resistance feels like. Waking up early teaches your mind how to command itself. Doing the task you dislike teaches you discipline over impulse. Facing an uncomfortable truth teaches you integrity and courage. Every act of voluntary hardship builds a small layer of mental armor that protects you from the bigger storms of life. Stoics practiced this intentionally. They fasted to prove they could function without comforts. They exposed themselves to the cold to harden their tolerance. They slept on simple surfaces to detach from luxury. They embraced challenges before life forced them to, so nothing could surprise them or weaken their character. Your practice can be simpler, but just as powerful. Each day, choose one voluntary discomfort: a cold shower, a tough workout, a difficult conversation, an early wake-up, or choosing the harder but more honorable action. Let that discomfort be your training ground. Let it sharpen the part of you that refuses to break. Because every time you step toward what is difficult, you become someone life cannot bend. Discomfort builds you. Principle 2. Take control of your reactions. Most people are not tired because life is difficult. They are tired because they react to everything. A rude comment, a disappointing message, a delayed plan, a mistake at work, a misunderstanding, a moment of embarrassment. Every small event pulls them in 100 emotional directions. They become puppets of circumstance, yanked around by anything that touches their nerves. This is how people lose their power without even realizing it. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Your reaction is the only part of life that truly belongs to you. Everything else, what people say, what they think, what they do, the outcome of situations, the behavior of strangers, sits outside your control. But the instant you let these things dictate your inner state, you surrender your freedom. This is why Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." The event is neutral. Your interpretation is the source of your suffering or your peace. Look at your daily life. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You feel attacked. A coworker forgets something. You feel disrespected. A friend texts late. You feel ignored. But none of these reactions are facts. They're stories your mind creates instantly, without question. And once the story takes over, your emotions follow, dragging you into anger, anxiety, or frustration that has nothing to do with reality. This is where Stoic discipline matters. The moment you feel activated, heart rate rising, body tightening, thoughts speeding, you pause. That single pause is the difference between chaos and control. The protocol is simple but powerful. Pause, breathe, reframe. The pause creates distance between stimulus and response, giving you a split second to reclaim awareness. The breath resets your physiology, pulling you out of fight or flight. The reframe invites you to ask, what else could this mean? Is this worth giving away my peace? 90% of emotional storms dissolve when you challenge the first interpretation your brain throws at you. Real strength isn't about never feeling anything. It's about refusing to let your feelings drive your life. When you choose your response deliberately, you become untouchable. Stressors lose their power. Insults become noise. Disappointments turn into lessons. You remain centered even when the world around you feels chaotic. Try this today. The next time something irritates you, don't react. Even for 5 seconds. Let the moment breathe. Watch how quickly your emotional grip loosens. With practice, those 5 seconds become your shield. Because when you control your reactions, nothing and no one can control you. I choose my response. Principle 3. Stop expecting fairness. One of the greatest sources of emotional pain today isn't cruelty, betrayal, or hardship. It's expectation. People walk into life believing things should be fair. People should treat them well. Efforts should be rewarded. And good intentions should be recognized. And every time reality doesn't match that script, they feel wounded, confused, or offended. Not because the world is cruel, but because their expectations were unrealistic. Stoicism removes the illusion. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he would meet people who were selfish, rude, ungrateful, arrogant, jealous, or ignorant, and that none of this was surprising. The world has always been this way. Expecting perfection from human beings is like expecting the ocean to be still. You set yourself up for disappointment. Think about it. Has your suffering ever come from people behaving exactly as they are, or from wanting them to behave differently? A friend forgets a promise. A partner fails to understand your feelings. A coworker takes credit. A family member judges you unfairly. The sting doesn't come from the act itself. It comes from the story in your mind. They shouldn't have done that. They should know better. But Stoicism says, they did what people do. And resisting that truth only deepens your pain. This isn't pessimism, it's protection. When you stop expecting life to follow your rules, you stop being crushed every time it doesn't. You stop taking things personally. You stop demanding that others act according to your internal code. Instead, you navigate the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. This shift alone can remove half of your emotional suffering. Fairness is a beautiful ideal, but not a universal guarantee. Some people will treat you unjustly. Some efforts will go unnoticed. Some intentions will be misunderstood. Some outcomes will feel undeserved, but reacting with outrage every time life isn't fair only drains your strength. Stoics teach that what matters is not the fairness of the world, but the fairness of your character. So what do? You stop complaining and start adapting. You make your decisions based on your values, not based on how others behave. You protect your peace by lowering your expectations of human perfection. You hold yourself to a higher standard than the world holds you. And when unfairness appears, as it always does, you respond with stability, not shock. Try this today. When something feels unfair, say to yourself, "This is part of life, not a personal attack." That simple recognition frees you, because the moment you stop expecting fairness, you stop being controlled by disappointment. I accept reality as it is. Principle 4. Focus only on what you can control. So much of human suffering comes from trying to control what was never ours to control in the first place. People spend entire days, sometimes entire lives, worrying about opinions, outcomes, future possibilities, past mistakes, and the unpredictable behavior of others. They try to manage how someone sees them, how a situation unfolds, how people react, and how every detail plays out. And when none of it goes according to their internal storyline, they feel anxious, defeated, or out of balance. Stoicism cuts through this chaos with one of its most powerful teachings: control what is truly yours. Release everything else. Epictetus wrote that our primary suffering comes from confusing the two. When you try to control the uncontrollable, frustration is guaranteed. When you focus on what's inside your control, your choices, your effort, your interpretation, your attitude, peace becomes possible. Look at your daily worries. How many of them depend on someone else's approval? How many depend on outcomes you cannot fully influence? How many involve things that haven't even happened yet? The mind loves to project into areas it doesn't command. That's why you feel overwhelmed. You are trying to steer a ship from the passenger seat. Imagine this: there are only two columns in life: mine and not mine. Mine. My effort, my actions, my words, my boundaries, my values, my response, my discipline. Not mine. Other people's opinions, reactions, judgments, mistakes, expectations, emotions, moods and choices, the weather, the economy, the past, the future, and the final outcome of anything I attempt. Most people spend 90% of their mental energy in the second column, the column they have zero ownership over. No wonder they feel powerless. But the moment you shift into the first column, everything changes. You stop trying to win everyone's approval. You stop chasing outcomes to validate your worth. You stop obsessing over what might happen and begin focusing on what you can actually do. And ironically, this shift makes you more effective and more respected. Here's the Stoic practice. Before reacting, ask yourself one question. Is this within my control? If the answer is yes, act with clarity. If the answer is no, release it immediately. Don't negotiate with it. Don't overthink it. Don't mentally wrestle with it for hours. Release it. Try this today. Take one situation that is stressing you out and divide it into two lists: what's yours and what's not. Handle your part with discipline. Let the rest fall where it may. Because the person who masters what they control becomes immune to everything they don't. I master what's mine and release what's not. Principle 5. Train your will through voluntary discomfort. Most people wait for life to challenge them before they become strong. They wait for a crisis to toughen their mind, for heartbreak to toughen their heart, or for failure to toughen their discipline. But that approach leaves you unprepared, reactive, and vulnerable. A Stoic does the opposite. Instead of waiting for hardship, they train for it. This is why voluntary discomfort is one of the most overlooked but powerful principles in Stoic philosophy. Seneca wrote that the person who practices enduring difficulty when life is calm will be unshaken when life becomes stormy. If you only experience comfort, you become dependent on it. And dependency is weakness disguised as luxury. Voluntary discomfort doesn't mean punishing yourself. It means deliberately choosing small, controlled forms of challenge, so your mind learns to respond with strength instead of panic. You are teaching yourself, I can do what's difficult. I can endure what's uncomfortable. I'm not controlled by ease. In today's world, discomfort comes in forms we often choose to avoid. Waking up early when your bed feels warm, taking a cold shower when your body wants comfort, going to the gym when you're low on motivation, completing difficult tasks without procrastination, or having a hard conversation you've been avoiding. Each of these is a voluntary hardship, and each one builds a layer of resilience that nothing else can. Why does it work? Because your mind becomes familiar with resistance. When you choose difficulty, you rewire your brain to stop fearing it. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once triggered anxiety becomes normal. And what once drained your energy becomes a source of pride. You realize the discomfort you avoided was never an enemy. It was the doorway to your potential. There's also a second benefit. When you voluntarily face discomfort, involuntary hardships lose their power. Stressful days don't intimidate you. Unexpected problems don't shake you. Emotional turbulence doesn't swallow you. You've already trained for chaos in times of peace. So chaos cannot command you when it arrives. Here's your practice. Every day, choose one voluntary discomfort. It doesn't need to be extreme. It just needs to be intentional. Examples: take a cold shower. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Do an extra set at the gym. Say no to a temptation you normally give in to. Finish a task immediately instead of delaying it. Each time you follow through, your willpower sharpens. Your discipline deepens. Your character strengthens. You become someone who does what needs to be done, whether or not it's comfortable. And the stronger your will becomes, the less anything in this world can break you. Comfort weakens. Hardship sharpens. Principle 6. Detach from the outcome. Love the process. One of the greatest emotional traps in modern life is becoming obsessed with results. People tie their self-worth to achievements, validation, and outcomes they can't fully control. They feel proud only when they win, discouraged when progress is slow, and defeated when results don't match their expectations. This constant emotional roller coaster isn't caused by the work itself. It's caused by attachment to the outcome. Stoicism teaches a radical shift. Value the process, not the result. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that a person's duty is to act with excellence, not to guarantee success. Epictetus made it even clearer. You control your effort, not the outcome. When you understand this, your life becomes lighter, your mind becomes calmer, and your consistency becomes unshakable. Think about how attachment distorts your behavior. You procrastinate because you fear failing. You quit because progress doesn't show fast enough. You compare yourself to others because you want results that match theirs. You overthink because you're trying to predict the future. None of this comes from the task itself. It comes from your fixation on what the task might lead to. The process, however, is always within your control. You choose how focused you are. You choose the energy you bring. You choose how consistently you show up. You choose whether you act from discipline or emotion. And when you shift your attention to these controllable elements, something powerful happens. You stop judging yourself through external metrics and start measuring yourself by your own integrity. Examples appear everywhere. In the gym, progress may be slow, but showing up, is victory. In a creative project, feedback may be unpredictable, but effort is yours. In a business pursuit, outcomes may fluctuate, but discipline is your domain. The more you love the process, the less you need the world to approve of what you're doing. You no longer chase validation. You embody mastery. Here's the Stoic practice. Define your ideal process. What does a good day look like? What actions reflect your values? What behaviors show discipline even without motivation? Write this down. Then each day, focus solely on meeting that standard. The moment you finish your process, you've already succeeded, regardless of what happens next. Detachment from outcome doesn't mean apathy. It means you give your best without letting your peace depend on what follows. It's the highest form of strength because it turns every day into a win and every challenge into a chance to grow. Try this today. Choose one goal in your life and rewrite it into a daily process. Commit to the process only, because when you stop tying your worth to results, nothing can shake your consistency. Process over outcome principle. 7. Remember death. Let urgency discipline your life. Most people live as if they have unlimited time. They delay important conversations, postpone personal growth, ignore their dreams, and keep waiting for the right moment, a moment that rarely arrives. Life feels long to those who waste it, and painfully short to those who finally realize how much they've lost. The Stoics refused to live this way. They embraced a concept called Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. At first, this sounds dark, even morbid. But to the Stoics, it was the opposite. It was awakening. Marcus Aurelius used this reminder to sharpen his focus. When he wrote, "You could leave life right now," he wasn't expressing fear. He was expressing clarity. When you remember the fragility of your time, the noise of life becomes quiet. The drama fades. The excuses disappear. What matters rises to the surface. Think about your own life. How many opportunities have slipped because you kept saying later? How many people you love have you assumed would always be there? How many dreams did you push aside because you believed tomorrow would look exactly like today? This illusion of endless time is one of the most dangerous lies the mind tells us. It steals urgency, and urgency is the birthplace of discipline. Memento Mori brings your attention back to the present. Instead of wasting hours scrolling, arguing, or worrying about things that won't matter in a year, you start filtering your choices through a sharper lens. If today were my last day, would this deserve my attention? Most of the things that stress you out would not make the list, and this perspective doesn't just remove distractions, it transforms your actions. You forgive faster because grudges suddenly seem pointless. You speak more honestly because masks feel like a waste of life. You take more risks because fear loses power when you remember how short the journey is. You stop postponing the work that actually moves your life forward. Here's a practical exercise. Write down 3 things you would regret if tomorrow never came. Maybe it's a dream you haven't pursued, a conversation you've avoided, or a version of yourself you haven't allowed to emerge. Whatever those 3 things are, they reveal the truth about your priorities. Do one of them today. Not perfectly, not dramatically. Just begin. Remembering death is not about fear. It's about focus. It's the reminder that time is the most precious resource you have, and it's slipping quietly every day. The Stoics weren't obsessed with death. They were devoted to life, and they understood that only those who accept mortality can truly live with purpose. Because when you treat each day as borrowed time, nothing trivial can rule you. Life is short. I choose what matters. Principle 8. Live by virtue, not validation. In a world obsessed with approval, it is easy to lose yourself. People chase likes, compliments, and recognition as if these things define their worth. They adjust their personality depending on who's watching. They say what others want to hear. They hide their true thoughts to avoid judgment. They build their identity on external applause, only to feel empty the moment the noise stops. This is the tragedy of seeking validation. Your sense of self becomes fragile, dependent, and easily shaken. Stoicism offers a different foundation. Live by virtue, not by what others think of you. Virtue, integrity, courage, honesty, discipline, justice is the part of you that cannot be taken away. It comes from within, not from admiration or acceptance. Marcus Aurelius warned that chasing external praise is one of the fastest paths to losing your inner stability. He wrote that a person guided by virtue walks a straight path even when no one is watching. When you let validation guide your decisions, you become reactive. You say yes when your values say no. You stay silent when truth asks for your voice. You shrink yourself to fit expectations. You compromise your peace to avoid disapproval. And the painful irony is that the more you try to please everyone, the less respect you actually earn. People sense when someone is afraid to be themselves. Living by virtue means something stronger, doing what is right because it is right, not because someone will clap for you. It means speaking honestly, even if you are the only honest voice in the room. It means keeping your promises when no one is checking. It means turning down opportunities that violate your principles. It means holding yourself to a higher standard than the world holds you. Examples are everywhere. Telling the truth when a lie would protect your image. Walking away from gossip even if participating would make you feel included. Choosing effort over shortcuts. Choosing responsibility over excuses. Choosing respect over popularity. These choices form the architecture of your character, and character is the one thing the world cannot take from you. Here is your practice. Choose one core value: honesty, discipline, courage, kindness, or responsibility, and live by it for the next 24 hours without announcing it to anyone. Let your actions reveal it silently. The power of virtue grows in secrecy because it strengthens your relationship with yourself, not with your audience. When you anchor your life in virtue, external opinions lose their control over you. Praise becomes pleasant but unnecessary. Criticism becomes informative but not defining. You stop bending to the world, and the world begins to respect the way you stand. Because a life built on virtue is unshakable. Virtue is my compass. You've just walked through 8 Stoic principles designed to make you unshakable. Embracing hardship as your training ground, controlling your reactions, releasing unrealistic expectations, focusing only on what you can control, strengthening your will through voluntary discomfort, detaching from outcomes, remembering the urgency of life and living by virtue instead of seeking validation. Every one of these principles is a tool, but they only become power when you practice them. So I want you to choose one principle from today's video and apply it within the next 24 hours. Not tomorrow, not someday. Today. Whether it's holding your reaction, waking up earlier, having an honest conversation, or simply focusing on what's in your control, take one small step. Consistency, not perfection, is what transforms your mind. Thank you for spending this time with me and choosing to strengthen your inner world rather than be ruled by the outer one. Your presence here means more than you know. Stay disciplined, stay centered, stay unshakable, and I'll see you in the next video.